Well, everybody, now next up we've got Stacey. I'm going to go ahead and promote you, Stacey, to co-host, and you'll be able to share your screen and share your share your video camera and your mic and whatnot. So, Stacey, um, let's see here. You accepted the co-host, and you should be jumping on any moment now. There you are. Awesome. How's it going, Stacey?
It's going amazing. How's everybody doing? How's it going?
It's going really good. It's going really good today. Yeah, it's been a good day, and it's nice and sunny up here in the Pacific Northwest, so can't complain at all about that.
And it's sunny in SoCal as well, so
Oh,
it's
nice, nice. That's great. That's great. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time today to jump on here and to present and everything. Super excited for your session. I'm gonna go ahead and let you take over from here. I'm gonna disappear, and you can start rolling with it.
awesome, awesome. So everybody, I'm getting ready to share my screen with you. All right. Can we all see that? Let's see. All right. Da-da-da. I'm going on the, all right, hold on one second. The thing for Zoom is in my way. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, everybody. So I hope everyone is enjoying their time at the DIY Fest. I'm so excited to actually present to you how you can actually design and use your tiny to manifest love and money. And so with that, I also have a little bit of show and tell that's going to go along as well. And if there's time, I will definitely do some Q&A at the end. So, just to ground everybody of what I plan to share with you today is first my tiny journey, and then I'm going to share with you 3 steps to realize your tiny dream. And everybody wants to talk about the financials, so I'm definitely going to do that as well. And just to kind of thank you for being here with me today and enjoying the DIY Fest, I have a gift for everyone as well. So let's kind of hop on into doing stuff. And first, about my tiny journey. So, I'm actually a dweller, I'm a DIYer, and I'm a boss lady that is in her hands in the tiny industry. I'm also in the 50 something club. I call the, Foxy 50s. And I did a major life reboot, and Tiny was instrumental in my life reboot. I'm also a solopreneur and an empty nester. And I was a nomad for 18 months. And the reason why I was a nomad was I was trying to figure out where to park my tiny mansion. So I'm also going to be talking about how I was able to get legal parking. And I utilized 3 steps to realize my tiny dream. And that is also what I'm going to be sharing with you here today. So first is step number one is your build approach. Now we're here at the DIY Fest, so that's one approach to your build. Another approach is a lot of people have a builder build their tiny house. Well, the approach that I want to talk to you about today is actually a smash up, a hybrid approach between having a builder start your build and doing half of it because they have buying power, speed, skilled labor, and the certification. So it makes that process easy. However, you finish it as a DIY because I found out in doing all the research, and that's going to be leading into step number two. It was actually more cost effective for the builder to do the bones of the house. And then it was more cost effective for me to do the DIY in terms of customizing what I want to get exactly what I want. And so there you see me staining. I sanded and stained butcher block, and the black that you see there are actually my stairs. So, like I said, I'm gonna have some more show and tell when we get to step number three. Now, step number two is extremely important. So, after you kind of have an idea, right, you get inspired on YouTube, you see videos, and you get inspired by the type of house you want. You determine how you want to do it DIY or maybe a hybrid like I did. It's important to do your homework. So, the first thing is getting educated. So, you're doing that right now at the DIY Fest. You're getting educated from all the presenters. And so, I actually took a tiny course and I went to Go Tiny Academy. There's my teacher, Lindsay, in the gray shirt. And when you get educated, it's really important to learn the key do's and don'ts. Learn from other people that are already living tiny so that you can learn from their mistakes or anything that was amazing for them, you can replicate that. Also, really understand all elements of going tiny, from the builders, if you do a hybrid approach, all the way to toilets. Like the presenter before me, she was talking about, the composting toilets and the incinerator toilets. And so the other thing is also, when you're getting educated, really understand just those key watchouts and those builder red flags, because I had to fire my first builder that I've been working with for like a year. I'll get into that a little bit later, but really looking out for those red flags. And I also had experience from, this actually isn't my first home purchase. This is actually number 4, but this is the first tiny. So there was a lot I did not know. And this is why I went and got educated. The second part about doing your homework is try before you buy. I and what that means is, for 1 month, I stayed in 4 tinies in 1 month. And so in doing that, I really got to see what I did like, what I didn't like. And to my surprise, I felt a little bit claustrophobic with the thos. Those are the tiny house on wheels that are like 8.5 feet wide. But I stayed in one tiny that was actually 10 feet, and that felt really livable to me. So what happens is, don't just get excited, build your tiny, and then figure out whether you like it or not. Really go out on Airbnb. I found all of these on Airbnb, and you can do the same thing to try them out. The next thing is, if you do a hybrid approach, is selecting your builder. So what I ended up doing, because I fired the first one, is I went with a national park model builder. And the woman that's in there is my dealer, my home advisor, because when you go to a national park model builder, you don't work directly with the builder. You have to go through a dealer or home advisor. And so what happens is, what that journey did for me, it allowed me to really tap into the builder's buying efficiencies, because I couldn't get cabinets. I priced kitchen cabinets, doing all these things. I could not get them for the price that the builder could get. Not even my dishwasher. I couldn't get it at the price that the builder did. So this is where I tapped into those buying efficiencies. And the builder really focused on the bones of the house. Now, what the bones of the house means is the framing, insulation. So I upgraded my insulation, overhangs, doing certain things like the heating systems, the electrical. So those are the bones of the house. And I wanted them to focus on that. And then be an advocate for what you want. So when you're dealing with, even if you're as a DIY, you still need to be really clear about what it is that you want, because especially if you have contractors that are working with you on your DIY, because I had contractors and different specialists, and trust me, you still have to advocate for what you want. And so it's so important so you can be happy at the end of the day. Now, legal parking. Okay. This is so important, because, and legal parking was important to me is because I am an entrepreneur and I couldn't have the stress of being under the radar. So I was looking for legal parking. So the first resource that I used to kind of tap into and understand was THEA. And THEA is a nonprofit, it's the Tiny House Industry Association. And the reason why I recommend going to THEA first is they work with all the zoning laws. That is what their wheelhouse is. That's what their rock stars at. And so whatever state that you're in the United States, you can go to their map and you can check what are the zoning laws in your particular area to know where you can go. Even on THEA, they even have communities. So you can even research some of the communities that are tiny as well. I was in Facebook groups. So because I was trying to see where to park my tiny, I joined Facebook groups, tiny Facebook groups in the different areas that I was interested in. And what happens is, I got to know people, I got leads of communities. And actually, that is how I first heard of the community that I'm living in right now, because I am living in a tiny house community, and it's a tiny house park model community. Also, tiny events, whether they're virtual or they're in person, that is how you can also get information about going tiny as well. So, for example, those of you who are in Southern California, I'm going to be at the California Tiny Fest working there, volunteering for THEA for the next 2 days. So you can come and visit me and we can talk some more. And then the other thing I did is I visited RV and manufactured home communities that were accepting tinies. Now, just because you have, like, say, an RVIA certification, that doesn't mean an RV park will accept your tiny, right? And so you really have to do your homework to see which RV manufactured homes accept them as well. So that is how the process I went through to find my legal parking. Now, step number three is design. And design cannot be underestimated because design will determine whether you're happy in your tiny or not, and will also determine if you're going to be in your tiny for 1 year or 10 years, right? And so there's also about future proofing your design, right? So future proofing your design means, okay, 5 years from now, if I'm still in my tiny, where will I be in my life? So I'm in my 50s. So because of that, future proofing my bedroom is downstairs. I'm not crawling into a loft to get into my bedroom because this is part of my retirement as well. So here is where my design, what I say, my design dream team. Okay. So these are the resources that I use to customize and DIY my house after it came back from the builder. So I use Lowe's. If you're in San Diego County, you know them very well over in Poway. I use LL Flooring as well as Wayfair, Etsy, and Amazon to customize my tiny. All right, so since I did a hybrid approach, I'm going to show you how the house was when it came from the builder, and then I'm going to show you the after of when we did the DIY and what my home looked like then. And so with this, just to kind of ground people, the reason why I call it a tiny mansion, my house is a little over 11 feet wide and it is 46 feet long. That includes my 12-foot porch that you see there in the front. I'm in Southern California, outside lifestyle living, and that is my dining outside eating. So I can have full advantage of the entire 46 feet. Now, after we did the DIY, that is what the front of the house looks like. And yes, I got a she shed and we painted it to match the house. We did the door in a different color. And as you can see, there's the skirting on the house, and it was done in a way to look like a regular craftsman house and not to have skirting that went, was it vertical? So we did it horizontal. And then, of course, when it was from the builder, there were no stairs, and we did the stairs to match the railing that came. So that is the exterior. Now, on the inside, the kitchen and the flooring, this is what it looked like when it came from the builder. No flooring, no shelving was up or anything of that nature. And that was my contractor that did the flooring. He was amazing. And so this is after the DIY, what that looked like. So we put in the flooring. You can see the handles are now on the cabinets. All the handles in the kitchen came from Wayfair, and all the other handles for the entire house came from Etsy. And then here's where first, especially with the DIY with the luxury for less. Here's the first thing, one of the reasons I fired my first builder. Okay, first of all, the floating shelves. I wanted to have floating shelves. My first builder was going to charge me $8,000 for floating shelves. To which my reaction was, "What are you smoking?" Because everybody knows floating shelves are much more cost effective than cabinetry. So that's one of the reasons I fired them. So I actually got my floating shelves from LL Flooring, and I bought two huge slabs of butcher block. And I was able to make the floating shelves in the kitchen, as well as in my bedroom, my meditation area, my office, in several different areas for a whopping $650. So, so $8,650. So that is definitely luxury for less. All right, bedroom. So what I'm showing you here is an upgrade that I did get with the builder, and it's a dresser bay. And I had a specific purpose for this in terms of Mystic Design. So Mystic Design is using your home as a 3D vision board to manifest what it is that you want in life. So in the bedroom, it's all about the romance. So here is what it looks like afterwards. So totally redid that area because it turned into a love altar. And it's like an art installation in my bedroom. And I will let you know this, 5 months after putting this all together, I met my partner. And I met him in an art gallery. So that is how Mystic Design actually works. So that is what it is in the bedroom transformation. Now, in the bathroom, this is how it looked, how it came from the builder. And the cabinet didn't look green coming from the builder, it was white. But here's the funny part. You see there are doors that are missing. They forgot to install the doors for my bathroom vanity. How? I don't know, but they forgot. And so this is what the bathroom looks like now, right? And all the lighting in my tiny did come from Wayfair. So this is where you have design. It's very intentional. I wanted the bathroom to be glamorous. And I carried over the black and the gold and the white from in the kitchen and in the bathroom. That pop of color is emerald green. So that is what the bathroom transformation looks like. All right, there is the living room. Yes, the whopping living room is what I got coming from the builder. That lovely prefab floor, whatever is there. This is what the living room looks like now, right? And so what happens is there's another art installation. I have those all around in my tiny mansion because that is something that's extremely important to me. Because that's the other thing when you're doing your design, you have to be clear on what is important to you because you have to pick and choose where you're going to spend the money as well as the size, the amount of real estate that you give inside of your house, whether it is a faux or whether it's a tiny mansion. And then that is the other side of the doors, as you can see there. All righty, the financials. This is a hot one here. Now, let me also preface this with the financials. Compare what you pay for your tiny, whether it's a complete DIY or you do a hybrid like myself. You should compare the cost of what your budget is in the market that you're in or the market that you're going to. So, and that's how you should determine whether your tiny is a good investment for your budget. So in California, in SoCal, I put the average cost because my tiny mansion is around 550 square feet. So the average cost here in San Diego is $500,000. Okay, so I want to do that just to ground people. The Tiny Vixen, that's my tiny mansion, that is her name. The builder, as well as all of the contractors that I use, were California based. Okay, so I'm going to break down the cost of my investment so you can compare and see what it is. And I will also share with you what my first builder was trying to charge me. All right, so for my tiny mansion, the base price was $76,000. That was the base price of my house if it was just a standard and I took absolutely zero upgrades. All right. Well, I did builder upgrades before it was even delivered to me, like my front porch, also like my metal roof, right? You can do those luxuries because it's more cost effective in a smaller package. So with the builder upgrades and taxes and the title, as well as insurance, that was an additional $54,000. So if you add those two together, that's around 130,000 right there. Well, there's more that's to it. You have to include the delivery charge, setting the house, as well as utilities. Now, in this case, you may say utilities. Well, I'm legally parked. So where I'm at, they have to provide the hookups. However, I had to buy my own propane tank. That alone was $2,000 to buy the propane tank. So you have to include that within your budget. And then the last part where in terms of the DIY customizations that I did, that was an additional $30,000 to add to that, to do the hybrid approach that I did. So if you add everything up, it was a whopping $175,000. Now, some people may say, "Oh my goodness, that is expensive." It just determines where you're at. But look at where I live. Look at the average cost of a condo in San Diego. So if you compare 175 to $500,000, that is definitely way more attainable than, and plus, here's the other thing. I can take my house with me, a condo, you can't. So you're looking at all those things. And this is also looking at my retirement. And so my tiny mansion is fully paid off. And so this is also how I'm experiencing financial freedom with my tiny as well. So my first builder who was going to do everything, there was no DIY involved. was going to charge me $270,000 to do that house. And that's still less money than a half million. However, I did not want to pay that amount of money. I thought that was way beyond. So I actually saved almost $100,000 doing the DIY for half of my build. So that's something to keep in mind. So with that, here's the free gift that I want to share with everyone just to say thank you for being here at the presentation. And I see there's quite a few things in chat. So after here, I'm gonna look in chat to see if I can answer any questions that you may have. So the free gift that I have for everyone is the Bedroom Empowerment 101. Just like I just showed you my bedroom, it delivered the man and everything else. So if you're a free agent, which is single, or you're already coupled and you want to make your relationship even juicier, you can go ahead and you can do my Bedroom Empowerment 101 training, where you get a 30-minute audio plus a workbook. And also, because you're here at the DIY Fest, I'm also giving everyone a 30-minute Mystic Design session with me just to say thank you. And you can go ahead and zip that QR code and it will take you directly there to get you started. And so let's see here about Q&A. All right. And oh, also, if you want to reach me and learn a little bit more about Mystic Design, there is my website down there, and you can email me if you have a question or two. But if you have a lot of questions, you might as well go ahead and get the free gift, because you get 30 minutes with me and you can pepper me all you want and stuff like that. So I think I'm still doing good with time because I haven't gotten the ding or notification yet. Let's see here. I'm looking at the chat. Let's see here. I'm going back. All right. Looking at the chat that's here. Oh, thank you about the person that says they love the love altar. Okay. And appreciating the info. Trying to see if there's anybody else. Well, I think that's it. I think that's the questions that I got. I hope I am doing good with time and everything else. I'm just looking at my own time that's here. Yeah, I still have a little time to spare, it seems. I went through that very quickly. All right, someone is in Carlsbad. I'm over, okay, because Carlsbad is in San Diego County. And I would, since you're in Carlsbad, the California Tiny Fest is this weekend. So, like as I said, I'm going to be there this entire weekend, and I'm going to be at the FIA booth, and I can talk to you more about zoning and things of that nature. Just to kind of let people know what's going on, Carlsbad is considered in San Diego County. And right now in San Diego, we are working on the county to pass similar zoning like the city of San Diego has already done. And so once that is done, depending on where you are in San Diego County, if you're unincorporated, like where my tiny community is, it's unincorporated San Diego County. So what that means is when San Diego County passes to have tiny house on wheels in backyards where their wheels can stay on, where I live, it will automatically apply to where I live because it's unincorporated. However, I think the person that lives in Carlsbad, I think, this is where you're going to have to check. I believe Carlsbad is incorporated. So if Carlsbad is incorporated, what happens is once San Diego County passes the tiny ordinance, the city of Carlsbad has to also do it. That's the difference whether you're incorporated or unincorporated when that goes through. So whoever's in Carlsbad, just come and visit us over the weekend, and then just let us know whether Carlsbad is incorporated or unincorporated. All right. So another question that came up here is, how do you manage overwhelm in regards to building your tiny home and time production stage, actual building phase, DIYing things, etc.? Okay, well, I wasn't overwhelmed. And I also have to be very, very honest. When I was in corporate, before I became a solopreneur, I was in marketing and I did project management. And that's what I did in marketing for like 25 years. So I was used to being able to move projects forward. Even with that being said, I was still in I still get caught in overwhelm. So you really have to look at what is important to you, and you have to put it in order of priority. The other thing is lining up all the key players, and this is why doing your homework is extremely important, because the more homework you do, there'll be less surprises. And I said less surprises. You're still going to get a surprise, okay? But you'll get less surprises as long as you do your homework. People have different temperaments where that is concerned. So, like, say, for example, if you're a Gen Z or a millennial or a younger one, you may like, hey, I'm going to go with the wind. But, I'm in my 50s. I'm in a couple of years, I'll be in my 60s. I can't do that, right? I need to know a little bit more of what's going on. So, that's how I manage it. So, when you do your homework, and here's the other thing, when I took the tiny course that I took with the Go Tiny Academy, literally they also planned out and gave a schedule concerning the different stages, concerning timing and stuff. So while you're here at the DIY fest, really kind of get that information as well from the various presenters. Okay, so that's how I would answer that. And someone say, okay, you'll see me in Del Mar. So yes, actually the California Tiny Fest is in Del Mar, and that's where it's going to be this weekend. So let me see if there were any other questions. I believe that is it, and I had 3 minutes to spare. So, but yes, if you want to talk with me more, ask me more questions, because yes, I did go through this very, very quickly. Oh, since I do have 2 minutes, let me tell you about the design situation. Um, in doing try before you buy, there was one tiny I was in, and I have like 2 minutes. There was one tiny I was in where it took me 5 minutes to figure out how to go up the stairs, how to use the stairs. It took me 5 minutes. I was staring at it. And then when I did figure it out, they had a shed roof, which is the slanted roof. Now, I'm only 5'1". That's important in this story. I'm petite. So when I got up to the bedroom loft, I had to get on my hands and knees. When I got on my hands and knees to get in the bed, my butt hit the ceiling. Yes. So the ceiling was way too low. And then the ceiling was dirty and my face was that close to it. Needless to say, I stayed there with my clothes on that night and left the next morning. So this is why design is critical. And with that, I'm at time right now. So thanks everybody. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to talking with many of you soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Stacey. We really appreciate it. And the hands-on experience that you have there is really important. And thanks for sharing. Even that last story is pretty funny. It's like some people just build something that just isn't really usable. So,
And, don't tell me about it. And so when you do the try before you buy, you definitely find that out.
yep, it's important for sure. For sure. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really, really appreciate it. And looking forward to more collaborations in the future.
So do I. And have enjoyed the rest of the presenters.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. We'll talk to you later, Stacey.
Bye bye.